All right, so we are working on solving equations. We are working with ones that have variables on both sides of the equal sign and that have more than one variable on both sides of the equal sign. So first thing you need to do is identify your pieces. We are going to have ones with variables and we are going to have ones with constants. Remember, variables have letters, constants are just the number by itself. So I typically put a box around anything that has a variable and a circle or a bubble around those that are constants. Remember to include your sign when you're doing this. Whatever sign is in front of your number, that's what you're including. So negative 9k is getting a box because it has a variable. Minus 3k, including the sign, gets a box because it has a variable. That equal sign stays by itself. 7 is just a constant, so that gets a circle. Minus 2k gets a box because it has a variable, and minus 9k also gets a box because it has a variable. Since we have boxes on, or variables on the same side, we need to go ahead and combine these together by doing exactly what it tells us to do. So on the first side, on that front side, it says negative 9k minus 3k. So you're just going to take those numbers and subtract like it tells you to, starting with negative 9. So negative 9 minus 3 gives you negative 12. So I'm going to rewrite that as negative 12, and do not forget your variable k. Put down your equal sign, that 7. Don't forget to keep those back in the circles and the squares if you need that for helping you track. And then also on the other side, we're going to do the same thing. This one is negative 2k minus 9k. So again, you're just working with the numbers and not really worrying about those variables until you move it down. So negative 2 minus 9 is negative 11. So we're going to put negative 11 down here as well. So again, negative 11, and do not forget your variable k. Now that we've combined all the like terms that we can on the same side, we need to combine like terms from both sides to get them on one side together. So we do this using the inverse operation. So my students, I usually tell to move all your boxes to the left. So I like to move my variables to the left. It just makes it nice and pretty for me, and it's the same method every single time. So in order to do that, I need to do the opposite of minus 11k. The opposite of that is plus 11k. So you're going to do that on both sides. Remember, you can only combine things that are the same. If you cannot combine anything with a constant, it has to have another variable here. So we're going to go ahead and solve through. That's the same as doing negative 12 plus 11, and that gives us negative 1. So we're going to have negative 1k is equal to, and then on the other side, we're just going to be left with 7. So if I was to identify these with my boxes and bubbles here, or my circles and squares, you would see that we have all of my squares are variables on one side, and all of my circles are constants on the other side. Now we can do our final step, and for my students, they know that it is my favorite step, which is to divide by everything that is in front of the variable. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 1. That initially cancels out, and we are left with k equals, and then 7 divided by negative 1 gives me negative 7. So k equals negative 7. This is how you would enter your answer in Google Forms, or you can just put the number if that is easier. The code word for this assignment is fish. F-I-S-H, fish. I hope this helps.